By 10 a.m. on the morning of October 3rd, a British foraging party, led by Lieutenant Colonels Dundas and Tarleton, was heading back to their entrenchments at Gloucester Point, their wagons well laden with the Indian corn the men had gathered in. French forces under General de Choisy were on their tail, pushing forward to invest the British works, along with a large contingent of General Weedon's 1,500 Virginia militia already posted on the north bank of the York River, across from Yorktown, by General Washington. The Duke de Lauzun's legion led the pursuit, and the Duke encountered a very pretty woman, who told me that Colonel Tarleton had left her house a moment before, that he was eager to shake hands with the Duke. I assured her that I had come on that purpose to gratify him. Tarleton's own cavalry brought up the rear of the British convoy, and on seeing the Duke's hussars closing fast down the lane behind them, ordered his green-clad troopers to about face, and he immediately attacked. The slashing melee was soon a punishing brawl, both sides packed in tightly by the fields on either side of the road. Tarleton's cavalry were driven back, but charged a second time, only to be checked again. The Tory light dragoons fought furiously to buy time for the wagons to get away, but then Tarleton was wounded in the side and unhorsed by one of a number of the French hussars armed with lances. The Duke de Lauzun grabbed Bloody Ban and put his sword to the dazed British colonel's throat, demanding his men surrender. Loyal to the last to their notorious commander, Tarleton's men threw down their weapons. While the French Duke and his hussars were securing their prisoners and reforming, the Duke's infantry were now up, and they advanced to the right of the road and across the fields. Dundas, watching the intense cavalry duel and the demise of Tarleton's command, knew that this had, at least, delayed the French pursuit, and given him time to deploy his infantry to cover the last of the wagons entering his defence works. The British commander barely had the light company of the 23rd Foot and 2 companies of the Queen's Rangers athwart the road when General Weedon's subordinate, Colonel Mercer, with the Virginian militia, appeared from a side lane close to the British front. A wood, which also anchored the British right, had screened the Virginian advance, and the Americans, appearing so near to the British, charged down the road. The British line put in a withering close-range volley, but the Virginians' momentum carried them onward. Dundas ordered the Queen's Rangers, defending the road itself, to fall back, while he stayed with the valiant 23rd Light Bolts, a snake rail fence between them and the Virginians breaking up the American assault. Despite being outnumbered, the 23rd fought toe-to-toe with their equally pugnacious enemy, but they were only saved from being overwhelmed by a timely charge down the lane on their immediate right by Dundas's only reserve, a troop of the 17th Light Dragoons. The Virginians did not break and held fast against the slashing blades and pistol shots of the British horse. The 23rd were hastily ordered to disengage by Dundas, the British colonel noting the very real threat now posed by Lauzun's infantry, and rapidly reformed and supporting cavalry upon his left flank. The company of the 23rd reformed back alongside the Queen's Rangers, then traded some long-range volleys with Lauzun's infantry, as the latter then began to take losses from the 2 British cannon in the nearest redoubt. As the loud reports of the British guns filled the air, the 17th Light Dragoons retreated from the stoically wielded bayonets of Mercer's militia through the wood. Lauzun's infantry, now taking serious losses from the 2 British cannon, halted and, severely shaken, refused to advance further. Lauzun's cavalry had also been targeted by the British cannon, the Duke himself thrown by his horse due to a passing cannonball missing both rider and horse by a whisker. The French Duke, although winded and bruised, remounted and rallied his infantry, only to then note that the British were all back within their lines, and so he withdrew his legion from further, unnecessary, loss to the 2 well-directed British cannon. French Marines, arriving too late to the action, were at least able to cover Lauzun's withdrawal.